This is just a combination of the last two videos, putting them together so they can be watched all at once. If you watch those, feel free to skip this one. Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today we're going to take a look at the impact of deporting illegals with the Young Turks B team. You're looking at Baby Monkey because of a rather timely request. Since the video we're going to be watching tries to play on your emotions, it's only fair that I give you something to ooh and ah over as well. Anna and Chank had other shit to do, so Brett, Ida, Ben, and Hannah are here to say really stupid shit in their absence. You won't notice much of a difference except the bone-thin white girl on set doesn't have that after-vomit glow Anna wears so well. Otherwise, it's the same stupid shit as TYT's here to tell us about how real families are being torn apart by Trump's evil immigration laws. Take it away, dumbass.
Following Trump's executive order cracking down on illegal immigration, Guadalupe Garcia de Rayos appears to be one of the first undocumented immigrants to be deported from the country. Now, Rayos has lived in the States for almost 20 years, and she was sent back to her home country of Mexico on Wednesday, leaving her children and husband behind.
Maybe they can sneak across the border and see her, make a new life for themselves in Mexico. And in 20 years, Mexico can deport them back to us. It'll be like a really slow game of illegal alien ping pong.
Now, here's one of her teenage daughters speaking to reporters about losing her mom to deportation.
Well, actually she lost her mom because her mom is a criminal, and not just for sneaking over the border illegally, which for some goddamn reason I have to keep reminding you radical lefties is a fucking crime. Kids lose their parents all the time when those parents do illegal shit. Yeah, it sucks for the kids, I feel bad for them, but we don't just ignore laws because some kids have shitty parents.
I'm here and I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on fighting for my mom and for the other families that are going through the same thing because this is unfair and it's really sad. And I honestly don't have any words because it's just sad to see what this world has come to.
Sorry, but bringing out a crying child doesn't change a goddamn thing. Anyone with a heart is going to feel bad for this kid, but the simple fact is her mother is a felon. She admitted to Social Security fraud. We're not just talking about her sneaking over the border, which I will again remind you is a crime and is more than enough reason to deport somebody, but in this case, it's not just her being here illegally.
So obviously watching that, you feel for that girl, right? And I want to give you guys some context behind Rayos' situation so that you can understand some of the response stemming from this particular case. Now, she came illegally from Mexico at age 14, which is interesting because if she had come in 3 months prior to when she came in, she would have been 13 and would have been eligible to be protected by DACA, right?
Wrong. Her felony conviction for fraud would make her ineligible for deferred action for childhood arrivals. There was more than just a time frame. You also could not have been convicted of a felony, a serious misdemeanor, multiple misdemeanors, or be a threat to national security. She would be ineligible either way. So
in 2008, after living here for a portion of time, she was arrested in a workplace raid, which are barbaric and inhumane in itself.
Barbaric and inhumane. You guys really are sucking the meaning out of all language, aren't you? Try this. Ask Chank for a few bucks to fly to the Middle East. Head to any known ISIS stronghold. Once you're there, stand in the street wearing a bikini and a yarmulke eating a ham sandwich with bacon on it. Announce that you don't believe in Allah and, even if it's not true, tell them how much you enjoy eating pussy. If you survive, come back and tell me all about how barbaric and inhumane the immigration raid was.
And she was convicted in 2009 of criminal impersonation using a fake social security number, which is a 6th-degree felony. Now, the court gave her a voluntary departure order, and she appealed this and lost, unfortunately. So in 2013, the court issued a removal order, all right? So she was put under an order of supervision, which required her to report on a provided schedule to an ICE office until her order of removal was effected or acted on. Now, her ICE officer told her late last year that her case would probably be dropped in 2017 because she wasn't a priority. Now, under Obama immigration legislation...
No, there was no Obama immigration legislation. Stop using words you don't understand. Obama issued directives and executive orders, overstepping his constitutional authority. It was not legislated. I hate interrupting in the middle of a sentence, but no. No, you don't get away with this bullshit. Let's just start this sentence over.
Now, under Obama immigration legislation, if you're not convicted of a serious felony or a serious misdemeanor or multiple misdemeanors, you're not prioritized for deportation. So they were assuming that that would be the case in this next year.
No. I could maybe excuse you just being an idiot for the Obama legislation thing, but you're just fucking lying here. There is no serious felony clause, and you damn well know it. It's amazing how you got all of it right except for that serious felony bullshit. If I were a cynical monkey, I might think you had a motive for adding that adjective. Or if I hadn't have watched all of this and already know what kind of shit you and the other three morons are about to pull. It does not matter if an ICE officer told her they thought the case would be dropped, which I have trouble believing actually happened anyway, but let's say that it did. It's fucking irrelevant. She's not being oppressed. She committed a felony and was ordered to be deported. Alright guys, we're going to start skipping a little bit here because we're only 2.5 minutes in and I already want to nut punch myself. As always, the link is below.
Now, she gave a statement after her deportation in Mexico. She says, "I don't regret it because I know I did this so that more families could see what's in store, what could happen, and so that they could know what they could risk."
Yes, if you're here illegally, especially if you've been convicted of a felony since arriving, you do risk being deported. It's a failing of our leadership that people need to be warned about this. All illegals should live under constant fear of deportation. And don't give me any crybaby shit about saying they should live in fear. All criminals should fear getting caught. It shouldn't come as any fucking surprise that an illegal might get deported. I want you to think about this for a second. She's holding up this statement as something we need to pay attention to. And what it boils down to is an illegal alien who committed a felony while she was on our soil is warning people that if they do that, they might get deported. Do you have any idea how fucking stupid that is?
I simply am a mother who fights for her children, who fights to give them the best.
She's not special in this regard. Most parents want to do the best they can for their kids. What did make her special is that she's a felon and an illegal. She didn't fight some injustice, she broke the goddamn law. She's using her kids as an excuse for being a shitty person.
So I think this is a prime example, especially having been the first person who was essentially deported, of where we need a little bit more leniency on humanitarian grounds, right? And so it makes a big case here in that she was the first person. She's not, a convicted, I guess a convicted felon of something, a serious felony or something like that.
Right.
She's not somebody that's providing some sort of danger to our country. This is a mom. The teenage daughter is like crying on television. And so that sends a huge, huge message of people who are in America who have tried to escape whatever's going on in their country, and also people who are looking to find a better life in America, that even the most like innocuous of situations, they deported her. And it's sad and it's unfortunate.
Fuck you. No, seriously, just fuck you. Why don't you tell somebody who's had their life ruined by identity theft how Social Security fraud is no big deal? Just a victimless crime, nothing to worry about. The word felony implies it's serious, you idiot. That's why it's not called a misdemeanor. This woman should be thanking whatever God she believes in that she got away with this shit for almost a decade after her conviction and deportation order, not whining about how she finally had to face the consequences of her actions. Her being a mother doesn't negate her actions. Obama not deporting her ass for 8 years doesn't excuse her crimes. Some random, unnamed ICE officer telling her case would probably be dropped doesn't change the law. You can be as sad as you want to be. You can pretend this is a tragedy all you like. You social justice morons made a mistake by making this woman your martyr of Trump's immigration policy. She wasn't just here illegally, which, one more time, is more than enough reason to deport her. She's also a fucking felon. You idiots on the far left have spent 8 years telling us most of the illegals commit no crime, and then you make a fucking criminal your poster child. It's very nice of you to give me material, but don't you have any pride or a fucking brain? You made Trump's case for him, you fucking idiot. This goes on for a while. Believe it or not, we're not even halfway through this stupid shit. I really want to address the other three idiots and what they add to the conversation, but I do need to get to sleep, so that's going to come in part 2. That's going to wrap up this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I will see you next time.
Now, she gave a statement after her deportation in Mexico. She says, "I don't regret it because I know I did this so that more families could see what's in store, what could happen, and so that they could know what they could risk."
Your life makes me sad. Last time, on a very special Ranting Monkey, this woman said some really stupid shit.
Now, under Obama immigration legislation...
No, there was no Obama immigration legislation. Stop using words you don't understand. Tonight, these three idiots join her. Hannah's finally ready to let the others join in the discussion. I'm assuming because the air in her head ran out. Let's listen in as Brett, Ida, and Ben join in the stupid.
It's a good test case. She's a it breaks up a family and it's terrible, but hopefully again it becomes some sort of there's a galvanizing force to her story and her children. And of course, Barack Obama deported more people than George W. Bush.
Right.
I don't know offhand, it matters who you deported. And if we're deporting, and I don't know.
What the fuck did he say? Seriously, I'm asking. I saw him speaking and I heard words come out, but I couldn't tell you what he was rambling about if my life depended on it. Chank, it's great that you're giving what appears to be a homeless drunk guy a job, but maybe keep him off camera. Unless your goal is to make Hannah seem intelligent, which, if that was the case, well done.
But this was not the right one, and it sounds like that she went because of the shift in priorities under the Trump administration, because she was told that essentially, although she was arrested during the Bush administration, processed during the Obama administration, and booted out during the Trump administration. But it sounds like here at the tail end of the Obama administration that they were saying, no, you won't be thrown out. You're not a priority. You're not. Right. And that's what you'd want, is that I got it. If they're a criminal and you're charged, you got to.
It's like Joffrey.
You got to go.
I guess this is what happens when he tries to be intelligent. He started off saying that this was not the right one, meaning Guadalupe was not the right person to deport. He then rambles for a while before finishing with...
And that's what you'd want, is that I got it. If they're a criminal and you're charged, you got to...
It's like Joffrey.
You got to go.
She was a criminal. She was charged. She had to go. What the fuck did you mean she wasn't the right one? She's exactly who you're describing, for fuck's sake. It wasn't even 30 seconds between your contradictory statements. How did you not catch it? How did you not see that this makes you look like a complete moron?
It's like Joffrey and Ned Stark. Spoiler alert, but it was season 1. Like, he's like, oh, it's fine. I'm going to pardon your dad. I'm going to pardon your dad. And then you get him up there and boom. It's like, what the hell? I thought we had an agreement. Everybody seemed to be going forward pretty reasonably. I hate it.
You guys should not use analogies. You don't seem to understand how they work. Ned Stark did nothing wrong. Guadalupe didn't do nothing. Trump didn't meet her and tell her if she admitted to what she was doing, she'd be fine. The court told her 8 years ago to get the fuck out. They told her we don't want her criminal ass in the country. She claims some ICE officer told her that her case would probably be tossed. Even if that conversation happened, it carries no legal weight at all. None. Zero. She wasn't bamboozled here. She was told what would happen back in 2009. She had the fucking court documents. The only surprise here is that you idiots think this is some kind of tragedy. And even that's really not surprising, because you are in fact complete fucking idiots.
I just wonder, why don't they go to where all the gang members are that are killing people and beheading people on YouTube? Why don't you start deporting people there?
More than halfway through, and the white people finally let the dark-skinned chick talk. Let's hear it for diversity. We should absolutely go after gang members here illegally, but that does not mean we should let any illegals slide. If we find them, they should go. You guys are acting like ICE said, fuck violent gangs, let's go after moms. She's been here illegally for 2 decades. She's been a convicted felon for almost half of that time. Yes, go after the gangs, but don't let the others just hang out when they're found. Would you tell the police not to worry about shoplifters because there's murderers who haven't been caught? Well, you probably would, because you have the mental capacity of a doorknob, but normal people who don't need to be reminded to inhale and exhale understand that we don't let criminals off just because worse criminals are out there.
Like, if you went and I got
Right.
a mommy and who broke up a family. I'm an anchor baby. My father got deported when I was little, and I only see him on Facebook Live. We don't. I haven't seen him since I was a little girl because he was never allowed to come back. He's in the Dominican Republic, so I understand what this means. And he thought that me being born in America was going to facilitate, his citizenship or residency.
The hell you say? An illegal thought he could cheat the system by using his child? I'm shocked. This is the problem with the whole anchor baby scheme. And it would have been made worse if the courts hadn't have blocked Obama when he was trying to expand DACA. That's the kind of stupidity that encourages people like this chick's dad to come here illegally and have kids. And it would help keep these families from being torn apart as they had to take their kids back home with them.
But what I do want to say is that I always take an opportunity to call on my people for accountability because I do respect Jewish people and their sense of we. And I think that when it came to Latinos with this election, there was a lot of division and a lot of Latin people that voted for Donald Trump, specifically people in the Cuban sector who didn't think that immigration was their issue, which Obama, left you with a nice little gift. And I think that we have to think collectively sometimes. And when you think about this Mexican women, because we tend to think that Mexican people are beneath us, but this is a working family. Those kids, that daughter looked like she's a good kid. And this is not who we need to be trying to get out of the country.
What the fuck does being Latino have to do with supporting criminals? You guys keep having to gloss over that part. She entered illegally, which is, yet again, more than enough reason to deport her. But she also broke the law while she was here. Why should a minor connection through skin tone automatically be a reason for anybody to support her? Many Latinos come here legally. They went through all the hoops and they have no loyalty to some criminal who couldn't be bothered to wait their turn. Some of them have families still waiting to come here legally as we spend our immigration resources throwing out the shitheads who cut in line. Speaking of cutting in line...
He's like, I'm a rules guy. I hate when people cut in line and all that stuff. I hate it. But the things that get me in this are the prioritization, the stated prioritization of violent criminals. Yeah. And then the lack of a statute of limitations on it's essentially saying we're bad cops. It took us a long time to find this person who wasn't hurting anybody.
Oh, for fuck's sake, she obviously wasn't prioritized. She was allowed to stay here 8 fucking years after being ordered to leave. Even where we have statutes of limitation, it does not apply as long as you are still engaged in the criminal activity. Every day an illegal is here, they are breaking the law, you disturbingly stupid little man. Now, about that insult to our immigration officers. They knew where Guadalupe was. She had been ordered to check in with immigration from time to time, and she had. She wasn't deported because she wasn't a priority despite being a felon. They weren't bad at police work. They were following the orders from the idiot in charge. You're acting like they were stupid for doing exactly what you think they should be doing now. I get that the bimbos Cenk hires might have some qualifications the viewer can't see, but you and the homeless guy, I'm really having trouble imagining what it is you might have done to make the team.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her second quote there when she says, I simply am a mother who fights for her children, who fights to give them the best. That was in response to sort of Donald Trump's, Mexico is not sending their best. They're sending the drug lords and the rapists and all those sorts of things. This is a case where she wasn't the worst. You know what I mean? She was coming to work and build a life for her family and raise these...
I'm sure are fine.
So she's one of the some that is probably fine. And still they sent her away and sent this awful
Doesn't
example.
Rayos just mean shit?
Okay, Hanemic eating disorder, say it with me. Felon. She's a felon. Trump talked about Mexico and other countries not sending their best, and the best defense you can come up with for Guadalupe is that she's not the worst. Hey, Trump didn't list her felony when he said they weren't sending their best, so she can stay. That's fucking retarded. But it does bring us to the end of this 8-minute nightmare of stupidity. Before we leave, let's check out Cenk asking for our support.
You can help build independent media. We're now doing fundraising to get 4 new investigative reporting teams out there and be the watchers on the wall. We're not going to let Trump get away with anything. We're not going to let the establishment get away with anything. You help us build it. TYTnetwork.com/go. Be part of the solution.
I don't have a problem with any creator asking for support. Not even a fat fuck like Cenk. But I did want to highlight this because he says he's not letting anybody get away with anything, and this was tacked on to the end of a video so full of moronic shit that if somebody told me it was a parody, I'd believe it. Hannah flat out lied about the serious felony clause in DACA. Will any of these 4 investigative reporters be digging into the utter bullshit you guys spew? I'm betting you'd get a lot more support for that than asking us to help you hire 4 more complete morons. Just a suggestion. That's going to wrap up this one. I'd say something clever, but it's late, I'm tired, and responding to these 4 idiots has robbed me of my sense of humor and my will to live. I would like to say a great big thank you to all my patrons. These are people who are getting nothing for supporting me with a contribution other than helping me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm eternally grateful to all of you for it. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I will see you next time.
You can help build independent media. We're now doing fundraising to get 4 new investigative reporting teams out there and be the watchers on the wall.
Your life makes me sad.